This is the Washington Times front page for Wednesday, May 5th, 2021. Thanks for joining us. I'm George Gerbo. House Republican Conference Chair Liz Cheney appears to be on the way out of leadership after House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy was caught on an open microphone saying, "I've had it with her." Seth MacLachlan reports the audio, first reported by Axios, offered an unvarnished glimpse into McCarthy's thinking. The House GOP has been fractured since the January 6th insurrection at the Capitol and has struggled to reunite itself since. There are deep divisions over the extent to which Republicans should embrace former President Trump after losing the White House and both chambers of Congress on his watch. Cheney survived a vote earlier this year to strip her of her leadership position 145-61 after McCarthy vouched for her behind closed doors. New York Congresswoman Elise Stefanik has been mentioned as a favorite to replace Cheney if she's removed. The names of Indiana Congressman and Republican Study Committee Chair Jim Banks and Louisiana Congressman Mike Johnson have also been batted about. The attorney for convicted murderer Derek Chauvin has filed for a new trial on multiple grounds and asked for a hearing on jury misconduct a day after a juror admitted attending a pretrial march. Valerie Richardson reports defense attorney Eric Nelson argued that the court abused its discretion by refusing to move the trial out of Minneapolis or sequester the jury. The anticipated defense challenge was filed after a jury found Chauvin guilty of second-degree murder, third-degree murder, and manslaughter charges in the killing of George Floyd last May in an April 20th verdict. Chauvin has not been sentenced since his conviction. Governors faced a gold rush in the early days of the COVID-19 vaccine rollout. Now, Tom Howe reports they're mining what's left of demand, dangling drinks, cash, and other incentives to draw in holdouts. New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy said residents who get their initial doses in May can take their vaccination cards to one of 13 participating breweries for a free drink. Connecticut's Drinks on Us program offers a free beverage to anyone who purchases food and presents a vaccination card from May 19th to May 31st. And in West Virginia, Governor Jim Justice is offering $100 savings bonds to residents aged 16 to 35 who get vaccinated. The push reflects fears that the U.S. will be unable to reach levels of immunity that can quash the spread of the coronavirus despite early success. Many young adults who could break up chains of transmission by taking vaccines haven't bothered because they don't see COVID-19 as a personal threat. Roughly 45% of the American population has received one dose of a COVID-19 vaccine, and a third of Americans are fully vaccinated, according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. A reminder that you can find all these stories at WashingtonTimes.com/front page. Don't have access yet? Visit WashingtonTimes.com/George and get 25% off your annual subscription. President Biden's push to extend enhanced unemployment benefits based on the jobless rate or other economic indicators is frustrating small business owners who are struggling to lure employees back to the workforce. David Trafinski reports congressional Democrats have long pushed for automatic stabilizers for the jobless benefits, and Biden and his administration have expressed support for the idea in the past. Small business owners, though, say indefinite federal assistance would give people further reason to stay out of the labor market. Congress extended a $300 per week federal boost to regular state unemployment benefits until early September and included one-time direct payments of up to $1,400 for millions of Americans in Biden's $1.9 trillion coronavirus relief package. The national unemployment rate for March was 6% as the economy added more than 900,000 jobs, a sea change from the throes of the pandemic when the number climbed above 14%. Another place that's having trouble keeping employees in the workforce? Police departments. Emily Zanto reports an estimated 5,300 officers quit or retired from the New York Police Department last year. 200 or more cops have left Seattle's police department. And the D.C. Police Union reports Washington's Metropolitan Police Department is down 300 officers. Union Chief Greg Pemberton told Emily most of the officers who have left since last year cited the D.C. Council's emergency police reform and justice legislation that was passed last summer as reasons for leaving the department. And finally, Britain is thrusting itself into 21st century great power competition with the deployment of a massive carrier strike group through Asia and the bitterly contested South China Sea this month. Pentagon correspondent Ben Wolfgang reports it's the clearest example to date of Prime Minister Boris Johnson's plan to reinvent and re-energize British foreign policy as his nation emerges from its divorce from the European Union. Officials said the British Navy's 28-week trip through the Pacific will cover 26,000 nautical miles, with visits to more than 40 countries. Find all today's front page stories at WashingtonTimes.com/front page or on the Washington Times app, and subscribe for free to the front page. Just search Washington Times on your favorite podcast platforms. You can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at WashTimes for breaking news, sports, commentary, and more. For the Washington Times, I'm George Gerbo.